What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another Halloween week, and of course, welcome back for another Do and Don't video, where we'll talk about what you should do and shouldn't do this week in GTA 5 Online. As always, we're going to look for how to make the most money, the best investments, what to buy and what not to buy, all the best discounts and values, and any cool, fun, or discontinued vehicles that are available during this week's update. With that said, let's get right into it. Before we get into all that Halloween stuff, let's talk about some of the free stuff we're getting this week. First, if you log into GTA, you're going to receive the green flaming skull mask, the romance Calaca mask, the floral Calaca mask, and the Dia de Muertos Tee. Some other free stuff we're getting is connected to the North Yankton Nightmare, which of course was a community challenge where GTA players were tasked with slaying over 800 million zombies in the Lundorf Cemetery survival mode. If you guys couldn't tell, the community crushed it, and because of that, all players are now going to be receiving the purple and green glow onesies. And those go along with the orange glow onesie that we received the first time around after beating the first bar that was set for that community challenge. So in the end, you should have received 3 different color glow onesies, and if you noticed, those can go along pretty well with some of the free masks that we've been receiving as well. So if you take a look at what I did here, you can create some pretty cool outfits with all 3 of these onesies, which I'm surprised to say because I never thought my character would be wearing a onesie, but here we are, and to be honest, feeling pretty good about it. Also, another quick thing, Rockstar added a new creator update where players can now create custom zombie survival games using undead pedestrians in that updated survival creator. So if you happen to be a creator, this is actually a really cool update for you. Alright, now moving on to the Halloween stuff. Do participate in the Jack-o'-lantern event. Obviously, we've had this event in the past, but if you need a refresher, players are able to collect 10 daily jack-o'-lanterns in order to earn money and rewards. Now technically there are 200 jack-o'-lanterns in total, but we'll get to that in a second. Starting with just the 10 for now, each of these jack-o'-lanterns that you collect will deliver either a trick or a treat. If it's a trick, you can get shocked, be hit with an energy pulse, be exploded, or become stone. Honestly, all of these are pretty funny, although if you get exploded, it can be lethal, so hopefully you don't get that one. Now for the treats, you can either receive money, RP, health and armor, snacks, or the treat can be peyote, which of course is going to put you on a trip where you turn into some sort of animal. Now for the rewards, if you collect all 10 daily jack-o'-lanterns, you're going to unlock the horror pumpkin mask and receive a 50k cash reward. Now like I said, there are 200 in total, and if you were to collect all 200, you'll be able to unlock the pumpkin tee and another 50k reward. But here's the thing, collecting all 10 in one day is obviously not a difficult feat, and you'll get this cool pumpkin mask and 50k, which is obviously worth it. But for some reason, if you were to collect all 200, that still has to be done in one day, and yes, you'd get the pumpkin tee, but you're only getting another 50k reward, which to me sounds insane, considering how much time you're going to spend doing this. I'd understand if it was 250k or more, but just another 50 for doing literally 190 more? I mean, I don't know about that. Personally, I'm not going to do it, but to each their own. Although I do think I'd be more inclined to do it if I didn't already have this orange glow onesie that I think goes really well with the horror pumpkin mask, because without it, I'd probably feel obligated to get the pumpkin tee just to go with this mask. Alright, moving on to another Halloween event. Do try to encounter a possessed animal. In this event, you can encounter animals that turn evil, and when approached, can become hostile. In this case, hostile means turning black and bloody, and having red glowing eyes. These animals also take increased damage, so it's going to take a little bit more than usual to take them out, but explosives should do the job. There are 5 different possessed animals that you can see: a boar, a cougar, a coyote, a deer, or a pug. These animals can appear anytime between 9 PM and 1 AM, or in military time like on our phones, 2100 and 1. Unlike the next few events that we're going to talk about, possessed animals can be found in solo lobbies. As for the guidelines on how you can find these, first you must be in free roam, meaning not inside a building or in a mission. You also have to have been in your session for at least 16 minutes. In this event specifically, you must be on foot. If you enter a vehicle, it'll cancel the event. And again, specifically for this event, you're going to have to be somewhat near the area where those animals spawn. Alright, the return of another fun Halloween event. Do try to encounter the Phantom car, or the Christine car. This Phantom car is a tornado custom that can sometimes get a little hot. If you happen to see this car, it's going to try and run you down, and it's going to have significantly increased damage. So you're going to have to put a lot of explosive damage into this thing before you can feel safe. Now if you happen to be in a vehicle when it pops up, you'll notice the car is going to act a little passive. So it may not attack at first, but as soon as you get on foot, it'll turn aggressive, catch fire, its headlights will turn red, and it'll try and run you down. The Phantom car can appear anytime between 9 PM and 5 AM. And again, military time, 2100 to 5. In order to get this thing to appear, you must be in a free roam session with at least 2 players, again not in a building or in a mission. You'll have to have been in the session for at least 16 minutes, and you must either be on foot or in a normal vehicle, meaning not a special vehicle, not anything weaponized, not a plane or a boat. So pretty much any normal land vehicle will be just fine. And as for the situation with having at least 2 players in this session, your best bet for getting this to pop up is to be in an invite-only lobby with just one other friend, because if you're in a public lobby, there's going to be so many other players on the map that this car can spawn for. If it's just you and a friend and an invite only, especially if you guys stay near each other for the majority of the session, you're bound to get it at some point. Alright, now along those lines, do try to encounter the Phantom Cerberus. Now this one's a little bit different than the Christine car. With the previous Phantom car, as long as it's the right time frame and all the other conditions are met, it can really just pop up at any time during your free roam. However, with the Cerberus, it'll only pop up during exotic exports. So this ghostly Cerberus can pop up at one of 12 exotic export vehicle locations. Now obviously there are a lot more than 12 exotic export locations, but out of all of those, there are only 12 where the Cerberus can spawn. Now unlike the last few, this is not time based. It can appear at any time, dependent upon the fact that you're doing an exotic export mission. Sometimes the Cerberus can pop up before you even get in your export vehicle, but once you get in the vehicle and try to deliver it to the docks, that's when the Cerberus is going to come after you. Now while you're trying to deliver your vehicle, if you gain enough distance from the Cerberus, you'll probably start thinking that you're free, but the game has other plans. It'll actually be teleported right behind you and continue chasing you. Now although it can only take place at one of the 12 exotic export vehicle locations, there are still some conditions that have to be met before it can spawn. First, you must be in a free roam session with at least 2 players. Although why would you be if you're anywhere near an exotic export vehicle? Again, you must have been in the session for at least 16 minutes. And like the other Phantom car, you must be on foot or in a normal vehicle. Again, not any special or weaponized vehicles or any planes or boats. Now the really funny thing about this event is that while the Cerberus itself is indestructible, it actually can be defeated simply by outrunning it for 5 minutes. And there are tons of examples of players being able to get it stuck, pretty much by its own doing. And if you get a chance, you can use the up and atomizer to flip it so that it can't chase you. Alright, now last Halloween event. As you know, UFOs have been in the game since October 15th, but if you look at the main screen on GTA, there's a reference to stories about alien abductions, and you actually find it right over here, literally in the print. So although we've been hearing it's going to happen closer to Halloween, just keep an eye out during this week, especially toward the end of it, to see when these abductions are actually possible. Alright, moving on to some of the bonuses we have this week. Do Halloween death matches. This week they're double money in RP, and they can be found in the death matches category of Rockstar created jobs, or by finding the featured series icon on the map and clicking whatever button is down here to start that job. Now for the weekly challenge, if you were to win 2 death matches, although I'm not sure if it's just Halloween death matches or death matches in general because it actually doesn't say, so I'm just going to assume it's any death matches, you'll earn a 100k bonus and a tan demon goat mask. Do G's cash, because this week we're getting double money in RP for them. These daily caches contain money, ammo, and snacks, and they reward you with RP. Now it may not seem like it's a lot of money, but you can do these each day, and since they're on double money in RP, you're at least going to make a little bit more. But really the reason I'm saying to do these is just because they're so quick and easy to do. Once you get into the area where you can search for them, if you get lucky and land somewhere near where the cache is, it won't even take you a full minute to have completed it. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing on double money in RP, but even when it's not, it's still worth doing because it takes no time at all, can resupply your ammo and snacks, gives you a little bit of cash in RP, and should pretty much always be part of your daily routine as far as doing stash houses, G's cash, and anything else that's quick and easy like passive income or sourcing crates. Also, do take part in free mode events and challenges. There are a ton of different events and challenges that can randomly pop up in public lobbies, and this week, they're all going to be in double money in RP. So if you're in a public lobby and you see one pop up, it might actually be worth taking part in. Alright, so we're moving on, but yeah, if you couldn't tell, there's a lot going on this week because that was just the what to do's. So now moving on to the what to buys. Do check out the Halloween discounts that have been available for the last week and the discounts that have been available all of October. Those discounts include the free skull tattoos, as well as free sugar skull face paints that you can get at any tattoo parlor or barbershop respectively, as well as the Halloween vehicle discounts that, like I said, have been available since the start of October. The Chariot Romero hearse, the DeClass Tornado Rat Rod, the Albany Frankenstand, the Albany Lurcher, the Albany Brigham, and the LCC Sanctus are all currently and have been 30% off. Although if you're a GTA Plus member, the Lurcher, Brigham, and Sanctus are all going to be 50% off for you. Do check out the discounts that we have at the gun van this week. First, we have the Service Carbine that's going to be 30% off for everyone, but the real important one is the Railgun. If you're a GTA Plus member, you're going to get that at 30% off, but even if you're not and you don't already have the Railgun, you should definitely be buying it this week. It's not a gun that you can get anywhere else, so whenever it pops up in the gun van, it should definitely be something that you take advantage of. Now onto the free vehicles. Do spin the lucky wheel, because this week the podium vehicle is the Invitero Coquette Classic. On Legendary Motorsport, that vehicle is worth $665,000, but there are a bunch of players that are able to get it for free if they bought the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. Either way, this is a vehicle that you can win for free, so if you get a chance, definitely take a spin and try and get this vehicle. Also, do try to win the Ellis Car Meet Prize Ride vehicle, which this week is the Ubermacht Reinhardt. Now this thing's worth a little bit more, at just under 1.6 million, and that's on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. So if you're a fan of this style of car, or you simply just want to get a good value on it, you should definitely be trying to win this car for free. And in order to do that, you're going to have to win Ellis Car Meet races for 2 days in a row. Do look for discontinued vehicles, meaning any vehicles removed from the GTA websites. 4 out of the 5 vehicles at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport are vehicles that have been removed from the game. Starting with the Enos Cognoscenti Cabrio, and you can get this one for $185,000. Next we have the Dundreary Landstalker XL. This one's going to be a bit more, at just over $1.2 million. Next we have the Benefactor XLS, and that one's going to run you just over $250,000. After that we have the Hijack Rustin, which you can get for just under $440,000. And last we have the LCC Sanctus. This one is not discontinued, but this is one of the Halloween vehicles, meaning it's on a 30% discount, and that'll cost you just over $1.4 million. Although again, if you have GTA Plus, that's going to be half off for you, and it'll cost you just over $1 million. Now if we move over to the Ellis Car Meet, you'll find there are 3 other discontinued vehicles found at the test track. Starting with the Invitero Coquette. If you want to buy that one, it'll run you just under $140,000. Then we have the Vapid Blade. That one's going to cost $160,000. And last we have the Pfister Comet SR. This one's going to be on a 30% discount for just over $800,000. Of course, as always, do weekly time trials. This week, the HSW time trial is at Sandy Shores, and the regular time trial is at Cypress Flats. Now we're going to talk about what not to do. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to do the armored truck robberies. Yes, they're going to be on double money this week, but to be honest, it's not worth the time it can take trying to force it to spawn. If it happens, go ahead and go for it, and then at that point, there's no reason you shouldn't do it. But I'm speaking from experience. You can waste a lot of time trying to get this to spawn, and you're only going to make $50K after completing it. So overall, it's really just not worth the time or the effort for something that doesn't make you that much money to begin with. And just like last week, don't worry about photographing every daily UFO sighting. And the reason being, because if you already did this last year, then you most likely already have the clothing rewards that you got from last year's event. So unless you just want to participate and earn some of the small cash and RP rewards, then be my guest, you can absolutely do that. But the main reward is going to be coming at the end. Because one of these days, abductions are going to come back, and that's when you're going to be able to get the Shocker melee weapon. And the main point is, you don't need to photograph each daily UFO to get that Shocker baton. You only need to be around to complete the final stage of the event, which is expected to take place near Halloween Day. Especially with all of these other Halloween events happening this week, I wouldn't be going out of my way to photograph each of those UFOs, when the only reward I really want isn't available yet. Moving on to what not to buy, I gotta say, I almost threw all the vehicle discounts in here. And not the Halloween ones, like the regular vehicle discounts, including the Pegasi and Furnace Classic, Truffade Adder, and Vapid Clickwagon. All of them are 30% off, but I decided because they are on a discount, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people that don't already have all of these, so I wouldn't put up a fight if you got one of the other 2 really nice ones. However, don't buy the Vapid Clickwagon. Yes, it's on a 30% discount, and you can get it for just over $840,000, but I can't believe I'm gonna say this, of all 3 cars that we just looked at, this one is the most expensive. It's not special in any way. I personally don't really like the style of it, as if that's at all surprising considering it's a station wagon, but I'm just a little taken back that this one's more expensive than the other 2, considering how much nicer those cars are than this one. And that's really all I got to say about that one. Also happening in GTA Online this week, I just mentioned those other 2 vehicle discounts, and since I didn't put them in the don'ts, we're going to talk about them right now. First, the Pegasi and Furnace Classic. It's 30% off, and you can get it for $640,000. And then of course the Truffade Adder. This one's also 30% off, and this will be a flat $700,000. Last few things we gotta talk about. First, salvage yard robberies. You can get the Overflot Entity MT for completing the Gangbanger robbery. You can get the Grotti Stinger GT for completing the Podium robbery. And just like last week, which is odd because it's the same exact car, you can get the Canis Camacho for completing the McTony robbery. Over at Luxury Autos, it's currently showcasing 2 pretty cool looking cars. First, the Benefactor Vorschlag Hammer, which if you want to buy that is going to cost you just over $1.8 million, as well as the Fathom FR36, and that one's going to cost you just over $1.6 million. And last, back at the Ellis Car Meet, your HSW Premium Test Ride this week is the Impante Arbiter GT, and if you want to pick that one up, it's going to cost you just over $2 million. Alright guys, so that's everything you should and shouldn't be doing during this Halloween update week in GTA 5 Online. I'm actually a really big fan of this week, even though there's not really any crazy ways to make money, but there's just so much new and returning content, as well as a bunch of free gifts that I actually like for once, some pretty cool and new creator updates, and certainly a ton of ways to keep us busy and preoccupied for at least the start of this Halloween week. Hope you guys enjoy all this Halloween stuff, and you get a chance to encounter either possessed animals, the Phantom Car, the Cerberus, and I'm really holding out hope that somebody sometime soon gets an update on when we're going to get those alien abductions, because whenever that happens, I'm going to spend as much time as possible trying to get that Shocker baton. Alright, crazy week, but anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Skull.